So your complete CRUD application worked without the REST controller. Hi everyone, hope that you all are doing well. Today let's discuss something different. Let's write a Spring Boot REST application without the REST controller. Yes, you heard it right, without the REST controller.
Hey developers, welcome to Code with Raman, your backend dev hub. Wanna master reactive programming with real world projects? Check out my reactive playlist. Need a real project for your resume or portfolio? We have got a complete bus reservation system. Curious about how AI can turbocharge your Spring apps? Dive into my Spring AI playlist. It's all practical, production ready, and beginner friendly. So if you are into Java, Spring Boot, and powerful backend tools, like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Let's build something awesome together.
So there is a dependency and an annotation provided by Spring that enables REST by itself. That is auto REST controller. So let's understand by writing an example. While we write an example, we'll understand the concept, what concept it is using, what dependencies or what annotation it is using. So I'm on my ID. Let's create a new project. Let's create a new project and let's mark it as Spring Starter project. Let's name it as Spring Auto REST API and Java version 21. Packages are com.codewithraman.implement. So as I talked about a dependency that needs to be added, that I'll add manually because that is kind of a base dependency on which various wrappers of Spring Data package has been written. So if you like search for Spring Data, you will only find Spring Data JPA, JDBC, and some other wrapper depend not of Spring Data REST depend. So that I'll add manually when I import the project. So I'll be using MySQL database. Let me add MySQL dependency. I need to data JPA as well. So let me add this as well because we'll be interacting with the database in a JPA way. So let's finish and let's import the project. So our project is imported. So let's go on to pom.xml and here as you can see we have added data JPA dependency and MySQL connector. So I also need to add that REST dependency. So let me put that dependency here. We need to add this dependency of Spring Data REST. So you can see Spring Boot Starter Data REST. So this is kind of a base dependency on which this wrappers are written. So we need to add this dependency and one annotation that will enable our REST endpoint. A complete CRUD application would be enabled. So let's go and let's start by writing an example. Start by writing a model package. So let's create a class. Let's name it as product and let me put it into a package that is model. So I need few fields here. So first let me mark this as an entity. Let me mark this as entity and let me mark this as table as well because I require a table in the database. And let me add few fields here. I need few fields and those fields are ID and that would be of generation type generator type identity. It will be identically generated and then I need a string name and a double price, right? So these are the fields that I require in the product entity. And let me now create getters and setters for this. Create getters and setters. So my class is ready, right? So it would be like a minimal code to write in CRUD application. So now what we have to do, we have to create a repository, right? So now let's go and let's create an interface and the interface would be product repository and let me put it into the package of repository or rather repo and let's finish. Basically we have created an interface of product repository. To make it like work with JPA, what we do, we extend it, right? We extended JPA repository, right? JPA repository and we'll put our product object here, product object from a package and we require the type of ID. So my type of ID was long, so I put it long. So now comes the role of that annotation. So basically that annotation will now comes the role of that annotation. So that annotation will now enable all the REST endpoints for us. So that annotation is repository REST resource, right? Repository REST resource and in this, like if you mark it as repository REST resource, it will be your endpoints would be enabled on slash. That is a base mapping for any application in Spring Boot. But if you want to specify that okay, my application should be like enabled on some particular base endpoint, right? Let's mark this as, so we need to define path here, right? Path, and in double quotes we can define that it should be enabled on like product. So it should be enabled on product. So now if we say that localhost 8080/products, my endpoints would be enabled, like the get endpoint, the post endpoint, put endpoint, update, delete, all endpoints would be enabled. So we don't require Swagger as well for this, right? So all our APIs would be enabled. And one more thing, that the responses through this through these APIs would be paginated responses, right? So it would be in a like a JSON format it will provide you the output, and along with that it will be a paginated response. So now we have also added the annotation to our repository. Now, like, we are almost done. So now let's go to the application.properties. So I'm on my application.properties. I need to add few properties to enable my MySQL database. These are the properties that I require. Like, my database would be AutoResDB, the username and the password of the database, and we have the driver class, we have AutoDDL and SQL true, then we have the Hibernate dialect. Now, if you see, there is one more property, that is Spring Data REST base path. So now, what I was saying while we were here, what I was saying, that the base path would be slash products, right? So I was saying localhost 8080 slash products, but now as I define a base path here, so my path would be localhost 8080 slash API slash products. So now my base path is slash API, right? So we have defined a base path for our APIs. And one more like additional properties that I have defined are the logger level, right? So the Spring Web logger level is of info, and the Hibernate SQL logger level is of debug. So I have enabled these because while we run our queries, right, on the by using Postman, we'll also see in the console that what queries are being hit, how the response is being framed out, and what response are being provided to us. So that will become more easy for you to understand that how it is working at the back. So now I'm done with my code part. Now what I have to do is I have to just create a schema in my database. So let's go and let's create a schema. So my database is here, so let me create a schema, and my schema is ready. So let me mark this as default, right? So now I'm ready with my application. Let's go on to the main class and let's run the application. So I'm on my application, let's run it. So my application has started, right? So you can see my Spring Boot application has started. So now to test the endpoints, let's go on the like Postman, and let me hit a endpoint. So let me say I want to go on an API. So let's say localhost 8080. So my API is on 8080. So my base mapping was slash API. And then I need to put products, right? So this is my get call. So let me put this get call. Right now we don't have any data. So you can see it has an like replied with 200. It has given me a response, a complete embedded response, and it has also given me products, right? A products array of products, which is basically the data that, and you can also see the paginated response. The page size and all is also mentioned, that the size is 20. So first page will have the 20 items, right? So it is like default enabled pagination. So now, like if I want to try, like if I want to add some data, so let me like go on the post call, and let me say localhost 8080, and I would say base mapping API, and then it's product, and this will be my the post call. So let me go raw, and let me select JSON, and let me put, I have a name, right? Product name would be like a laptop, and let's say price was double, so let me say 50K. So let me say 50,000. So let me put this data into our database. Let's see what response it gives. So you can see it has added the name as laptop and price as 50,000. Let's go to the database as well, and let's see in the database table. So let's fetch the data of the table. So you can see that there is one row added, ID1, name as laptop, and price as 50,000. Now let's go to the console as well. So you can see insert into product, this API, this query is being called when we have basically inserted some data to the database. And before we we basically ran the select call, right? So select call was ran on the database to fetch the data, which showed that there is no data present right now in the database. So now we have fired the insert command, right? So now let's go again on the Postman. Let me add some, or rather, not let me add some here. So let me fetch some data from here. If I fetch some data, it gives me a data, right? So it gives me a data of laptop and 550,000 as the out. Now, let's add another data. So let's add mobile phone, and the price remain as 50,000. So let me put this data. So it inserts another row. Let me refresh and check. So another row is added. So now let me fetch again some data. So it will give me complete data that is present. So it gives me laptop 50,000, right? And then we have mobile phone 50,000, right? And then the pagination data. Elements are 2, total page size 1, and the size of the data that is present is of 20, right? So now if I want now you can see that we did not use anything, like we did not declare any REST controller, and without the REST controllers also we have our CRUD APIs intact, right? So we have made REST APIs without the REST controller. What a fun, right? So now if I want to fetch some data right from the database with the ID, like I want to fetch a data of a laptop, so let me just, I have to put an ID here. So let's say send this request and it gives me a data of laptop, right? So it gives me a data of laptop here. Now another thing, like it's not still it's not only get and post call, it can it has also enabled the put call as well. So let me say localhost 88 and let's say API slash product, right? And if I want that, I want to like update the name of the laptop, so I have added ID1, and let me copy the body from here. So let's go to the body and raw, and let's select JSON, and let me put it here. Now my ID1 was a laptop, but now I want it to be a Dell laptop, right? The price remains same, but the name changed from laptop to Dell laptop. So let me send this. So it says that name is being updated to Dell laptop. Now let's go to the database as well and let's see. So you can see the laptop name has been updated to Dell laptop. Let's go to the console and let's see. So it has fired update query, right? So it has fired update query for our update put endpoint, right? Now your delete endpoint is also enabled. So let me like copy this and I'll delete the laptop data. So let me go and let me put it like delete, and let me put the endpoint here. So let me send this. It says the data is being deleted. Let's go to the database and check. Let's refresh the row. So now you can see only one record is left, that is of mobile phone. So now delete has also worked. So your complete CRUD application worked without the REST controller, right? So this is how you can also like run your CRUD application without the REST API. So this was it from this video. Hope that you might have gained some knowledge on some new concept, right? So please like, share and comment on the video, and if new to the channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Hope to see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.